Star Wars is known for its opening scenes. The way that the famous opening crawl fades into a starfield and a planet or ship appears is an iconic bit of science fiction. But those aren't Star Wars' only dramatic introductions. Most of the villains from the galaxy far, far away make quite an impression with their first appearances. In last week's video, we looked at 12 villains' appearances and ranked them from 22 to 11. Here's a quick recap before we look at the top 10 villain introductions in the franchise. We started out with villains that had pretty lackluster introductions. Newt Gunray came first at 22. After Gunray was a pair of First Order baddies. General Hux and Captain Phasma clocked in at 21 and 20. Next was Mother Talzin at 19 and Count Dooku at 18. After that pair, the introductions started to get a little bit better. Cad Bane came next at 17 with Jabba the Hutt at 16. Then there was a trio of regal, self-important villains. They were Moff Gideon at 15, Director Krennic at 14, and Grand Admiral Thrawn at 13. That was where things really started to get interesting. The next two villains were lightsaber-wielding foes. First was Asajj Ventress at 12, and next was Reva at 11. Their introductions were really starting to get good, but they didn't quite make the cut for the top 10. So what intros were better? Let's find out. Coming in at spot number 10 is Savage Opress. Like his name implies, Savage was a savage. He wielded his double-bladed lightsaber with brutish strength and commanded the Force with raw power. His first appearance was in the Clone Wars Season 3, Episode 13. It was titled Monster, and Savage was the namesake. Count Dooku had just abandoned Asajj Ventress, and he needed a new secret apprentice, so he went to Mother Talzin, accepting only the best. Talzin was quick to comply, and using her magic, she transformed an already skillful Night Brother into the monster that was Savage Opress. After being presented to Dooku, he was sent to the planet Daron, where he effortlessly slaughtered a Jedi Master and apprentice. Seeing Savage's transformation from a normal warrior into a hulking, Force-sensitive freak easily garners one of the top spots on this list. After Savage comes an original trilogy favorite, Boba Fett. Best known for delivering a carbonite-frozen Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt, Boba Fett became known as the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. He briefly appeared as one of Jabba's hired guns in A New Hope, but wasn't really introduced until The Empire Strikes Back. Desperately seeking Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon, Darth Vader hired a number of bounty hunters. Boba Fett was the one who completed Vader's mission, but before that, he made a legendary first impression. Aboard the Executor, Vader explained the job to the assembled bounty hunters when he singled Fett out, informing him there were to be no disintegrations. This mysterious past immediately made Boba a fan favorite of the original trilogy. There's only one bounty hunter who could rank higher than Boba, and that's his own father, the legendary Jango Fett. If Boba was the bounty hunting standard in the original trilogy, Jango was the epitome of the occupation during and before the prequels. Count Dooku chose him as the template for the Republic's clone army, and he even mentored Cad Bane. His first appearance was in Attack of the Clones when Obi-Wan Kenobi visited Kamino. They had a short conversation that made Jango seem unassuming, but Obi-Wan's Jedi intuition wasn't fooled. Seconds later, they were duking it out on a rainy landing platform. Although Jango didn't kill Obi-Wan, he escaped the Jedi thanks to his Beskar armor, advanced weaponry, and exceptional combat skills. One spot above Jango is the iconic Grand Moff Tarkin. Originally a military officer in the Republic, Tarkin became one of the top officials in Palpatine's empire. But Tarkin wasn't the typical soft Imperial officer. He learned to be ruthless on the harsh planet of Eriadu, where hunting and survival were coming-of-age trials. Knowing that, Vader once employed Tarkin to hunt him and help hone his skills. Although Vader could have killed him in the end, Tarkin put up a worthy fight. In his first appearance, Tarkin actually put Vader in his place. The Dark Lord was busy proving the Force's power to Admiral Mahdi when Tarkin instructed Vader to stop. A New Hope had already shown Vader's power and importance in the Empire, so when he obeyed Tarkin's command, it signaled to the audience that Tarkin was an incredibly powerful figure. So far, we've seen 3 tiers of villain introductions, and they've gotten steadily more impactful. Now we're getting to the highest tier, and Darth Maul's introduction in The Phantom Menace takes the 6th overall spot. After Queen Amidala escaped Naboo, Palpatine had a solution. While Newt Gunray was giving an update to a hologram of Palpatine, Darth Maul stepped into the frame and was tasked with hunting down the Queen of Naboo. It wasn't the best first look at Maul, but it quickly got better. His first physical appearance was when he ambushed Qui-Gon and Anakin on Tatooine. Then his best reveal was when he showed up in the hangar of the Theed Royal Palace on Naboo, just as the heroes were beginning their infiltration. This menacing figure stood in their way, removed his hood, and ignited his double-bladed lightsaber. His yellow eyes, Sith tattoos, and dual blood-red lightsaber blades were incredibly intimidating for the characters, the audience, and even the actors who were present on set. After Darth Maul comes General Grievous, the four-armed killer cyborg. His very first appearance was absolutely terrifying. It came in Genndy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars series during the Battle of Hypori, where he single-handedly defeated 7 Jedi, including Coyote-Mundi, Aayla Secura, and Shaak Ti. He was unstoppable and skilled enough to have killed all 7 of the Jedi had they not been rescued by a group of ARC troopers in a gunship. The only problem with that introduction was that Disney relegated it to Legends continuity. Comparatively, his first appearance in canon wasn't as impressive. He simply stood on the bridge of the Invisible Hand, asking where Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker were. Next up is the Grand Inquisitor at spot number 4. The main antagonist in the first season of Star Wars Rebels, he first appeared as a hologram at the very end of the 2-part premiere. However, his in-person introduction was even more terrifying than General Grievous's intro. Kanan and Ezra were trying to rescue Jedi Master Luminara Unduli from an Imperial prison, but the whole thing was a trap, and the Grand Inquisitor was lying in wait. He ambushed the 2 novice Jedi, and their terror was palpable. It was a miracle that both of them escaped, and the dramatic introduction set the Grand Inquisitor up as a powerful villain. Kylo Ren takes the number 3 spot in convincing fashion. It had been 10 years since the last Star Wars film, and The Force Awakens started out with a bang. Poe Dameron was trying to find a map to Luke Skywalker, and Kylo Ren showed up to stop him. While not everyone loved all of his character development, Kylo's introduction was impressive. The way that he cut down Lor San Tekka without a second thought immediately set a savage tone for his character. Not to mention the memorable moment Poe fired a blaster at this mysterious new dark side Force wielder, and Kylo simply froze the bolt in midair using Force stasis. Only 2 villains' appearances rank higher than Kylo Ren, and the first is Darth Vader. The Dark Lord was the first villain in Star Wars, and his introduction was the stuff of legends. As A New Hope opened, Vader's stormtroopers were boarding the Tantive 4. After they breached, Vader entered and made an immediate impression. The contrast between his black suit and the white ship's interior was poignant, and no one had to explain who he was or define the power he commanded. It was all visual, and it was all very impactful. That means Emperor Palpatine takes the top spot. Like many of the villains we've seen, he first appeared as a hologram, but his in-person introduction was really impressive. Return of the Jedi opened with Darth Vader arriving at the second Death Star. Moff Jerjerrod was there to greet him, and unlike most Imperial officers, he was relatively at ease speaking with Vader. However, he was dumbfounded when Vader mentioned Palpatine would soon be arriving, and that he was not happy with the construction's progress. Vader's domineering personality was already well understood, so Jerjerrod's reaction set the tone for Palpatine. It told the audience that the Emperor was the big bad for Star Wars. A few scenes later, Palpatine arrived to a full military show of arms, and it was worth the wait to see the evil figure in person. But what do you think? Does Emperor Palpatine deserve the top spot? Should Kylo Ren be ranked so high? And should Boba Fett be ranked any higher? Feel free to share your thoughts and rankings in the comments. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe for more Star Wars content, and I'll see you in the next video.